The tourism industry in Ghana is reported to be the fourth highest foreign exchange earner on our GDP list. We will find out what the impact, the identification, development and promotion of tourist sites in the local vicinities where they are located. We also want to talk to the various chiefs and opinion leaders in these communities to assess whether tourism is making a positive or negative impact on the lives of the local people. This is Tourism TV, fact-finding program that seeks to investigate the existing and potential tourist sites. Join me, Ralph Aite, this and every Friday on this wonderful expedition to find out what tourism is all about in Ghana. Good afternoon, viewers. You're welcome once again live on Business Television Africa, and specifically you are on Tourism TV. I believe that you are enjoying our series of programs. This is your host, Ralph Aite, and today we are on the sunny side of life, specifically at the Labadi Beach Hotel. I can tell you for a fact that Ghana has a varied level of hotels that we can boast of simply because we pride ourselves to be one of the leading tourist destinations in Africa. Today, I have a very, very special guest with me. He is one of the management staff of Labadi Beach, and I can tell you he's worked in Ghana in excess of 15 years. And I can comfortably say he's more or less initiated as a Ghanaian now. Please stand by, don't go, because we are going to have a very, very insightful and interesting chat as to how well tourism in Ghana is doing. As I mentioned to you, we are the Labadi Beach Hotel. Please stay on.
Africa is becoming more populous and richer. It has experienced unprecedented and uninterrupted economic growth for the past 3 decades. But if African countries are to become economically successful, their governments will have to implement adequate policies which contribute to the expansion of the private sector, job creation, and an increase in the productivity levels. Corruption must be dealt with in Africa. Unemployment, mainly among the youth, is another challenge facing African leaders. These and many more issues that hinders our growth will be discussed on the banner and provide the why, how, and what to accelerate the continent's dream of economic freedom. Watch on the banner every Saturday. It's going to be hot, heated, but focused. Africa's future success will depend on stability, sound policies, and solid institutions. Don't miss this.
The tourism industry in Ghana is reported to be the fourth highest foreign exchange earner on our GDP list. We will find out what the impact, the identification, development and promotion of tourist sites in the local vicinities where they are located. We also want to talk to the various chiefs and opinion leaders in these communities to assess whether tourism is making a positive or negative impact on the lives of the local people. This is Tourism TV, fact-finding program that seeks to investigate the existing and potential tourist sites. Join me, Ralph Aite, this and every Friday on this wonderful expedition to find out what tourism is all about in Ghana. You're welcome back to Business Television Africa, and specifically, you are on Tourism TV. I mentioned to you earlier on that I have a gentleman with me who spent a lot of his working life down here in Ghana in the tourism industry, and specifically at Labadi Beach as the financial controller. And here I am talking about no other person than Mr. Charles Injeru. He is the financial controller of Labadi Beach. Anything to do with money, Mr. Injeru has to know. Mr. Injeru, from the intro, you're fully loaded.
I wish I could have everything in my life. I'll be very happy.
Well, we're getting there near and near and near. So I understand you've been here for many, many, many years. Interestingly, can you give us a gist of how long you've been here and what you've been doing?
Basically, I came into Ghana from Kenya.
Okay.
On March 25th, 1998.
Oh.
I was working with Lono Africa Hotels.
Okay.
Because we were managing hotels in Kenya, Zimbabwe, and Ghana.
Yeah.
Because at that time, Lono used to own 55% of the shareholding of the party. So after a short assignment I undertook in Zimbabwe, Lono Africa transferred me to Labadi, which was a very good thing to come and see a different part of what happens in West Africa. Because I've been involved in the hotel industry for a period since 1987.
Whoa.
Various within the five-star hotels, leading hotels of the world.
In 87, I was in secondary school, Form 3.
You can see when I was very busy looking for money that time.
Yes.
So, but coming back to your question about Ghana, I came in March 28th, and if I look at maybe within the hospitality industry, the big hotels at that time, which are fully operational, the Golden Tulip, and Labadi Beach Hotel.
Okay.
The Labadi Beach Hotel at that time had 104 rooms.
Okay.
Today, it has 164 rooms and a 600-seater new build conference facility. So I've been working in Labadi for that particular period of time. It's quite a long time, 15 years.
Right.
And my goal and my vision was actually to leave Labadi as a primary high-star luxury hotel, which also cater for the business corporate market. Because what we realize is in West Africa, we've got more of the corporate business than the tourism business. Corporate business is more than the tourism business. That was the primary focus. And try to get the hotel to a level of standards that compete internationally with the other upsurging markets within the Western Africa, within the East Africa, Southern Africa, and Europe as well.
Oh, okay.
So that's exactly.
Okay, so Mr. Njeri, you mentioned that Lonro brought you to come and run, of course, help run Labadi Beach. So who owns Labadi Beach as a whole? What's the ownership structure like?
Well, at that particular point in time, where Lonro was in the management contract, running the hotels, and the 55% shareholding. SNET had the shareholding of 20%, and Ashanti Gold Fields and a shareholding of 25%. So Rono was the majority shareholder. But then over the years, if you stand today, SNET is 100% fully owned of the owner of Labadi Beach Hotel.
Oh, really?
Rono sold Ashanti Gold Fields, sold off the shares to SNET, and Rono in 2004 they sold out of their shares to SNET. So this hotel is 100% owned by SNET, but managed
by Lonro,
by Legacy Hotel Management Services of South Africa. So now the management company of Labadi Beach Hotel, which we work for, is Legacy Hotel Management Services of South Africa. We've got about 23 hotels spread all over Africa. One in Nigeria, in West Africa, specifically one in Nigeria, one in Gabon, and now we've got Labadi, also in West Africa. The other hotels are based in Namibia and South Africa. So we have that kind of a corporate culture within the Legacy Group, running these hotels in a very good competitive environment, do the normal legacy marketing machine, do the global distribution network. That's exactly how Labadi is managed at the moment.
So viewers, this is very insightful because Labadi is a nice place and I'm very happy. My heart is very warmed that it belongs to the Social Security and National Insurance Trust. I am very happy because I know at least my money is being put to good use. And this hotel is 100% owned by SNET. And I know that La Palme Royal is also owned 100% by SNET. And then Coconut Grove Hotels is 100% owned by Dr. and Mrs. Sundum. So it tells you, gives you a very good picture that yes, Ghanaians really are venturing and putting their monies into the hospitality industry. Now, Mr. Njeru, no two ways about it. You have the experience in the hospitality running in our country. How do you see Ghana having grown or developed in terms of tourism, in terms of the sophistication of the clientele, in terms of who comes in, who goes out? Are they Ghanaians? Are they non-Ghanaians? How has Labadi itself evolved with regards to tourism's dynamics, if I may put it so?
You see, you know what, Ralph, if you talk about tourism,
yeah.
In Ghana specifically, tourism only is about 3%. If you get the number of visitors who come to Ghana,
right.
it's constituted about 3%. Maybe the Ministry of Tourism can give you accurate number.
Right.
But looking at our hotel setup,
right.
majority of the clients that we have here are corporate clients.
Okay.
Yeah, corporate clients because, and what has happened is Ghana has become a conference premium market.
Right.
The conference premium market, that is what most of the people, the big companies, international companies, prefers to come and have their conferences in Ghana. But what are the shortcomings do we have? Within the 3, 4, 5-star hotel category, we've got only to about 2,000 rooms, less than 2,000 rooms.
Right.
If you've got a conference which is big as
3,000,
you cannot accommodate this.
Even where to host them,
it's
a bit of a challenge.
We've had these problems, especially during the AU summit.
Yeah, in 2007.
We could not accommodate all the presidents who are coming in because now each hotel has got 1 or 2 presidential suites.
Exactly.
So then to go and stay outside. But if you look at what the moment, the direction we are moving in, we've got other players in the market that are coming. Entrants like the moving Peak coming with 260 rooms on board. We've got the Kempinski, which is coming up. We've got the Marriott, which is coming up. So the bed capacity
African Sun.
And African Sun. Yeah. So the bed capacity will automatically increase. So what does that mean to Ghana? Well, it means to Ghana there will be more travelers, people coming in, spending a lot of money. People have already said hotel accommodation rates are high in West Africa because there's demand and supply that fixes the price. Right. So that's why we find the rates are very high.
And equally, the cost of operation is equally high.
The cost of operating the hotels in Ghana, is being an import-oriented economy, is very, very, very expensive. Right. And especially now where the exchange rate is fluctuating. Right. Almost every now and then. By the time you order your commodities and you bring them to the port, and then they land into the hotel, the dollar values would have really changed in the CD terms. Right. So you end up paying a lot. Okay. What I would even advise is there could have been a government policy towards agriculture to ensure that most of these produce are not imported from outside. We should be able to support the local-based industry other than trying to get things from outside Ghana. It will bring the cost of production down dramatically. Okay.
Now, I have had, you've made some very, very salient and important points in that you expect that with the development of tourism, it will have an impact directly on the citizenry. You mentioned agriculture, okay? Now, I would want to ask, how much do you import? What items do you import? I'm asking this because I know, for example, the Coconut Grove insists on using as much as possible locally made goods. For example, rice, chicken, but you sometimes find yourself, running out. So the production doesn't really meet the demand. And you expect that if items are sourced locally, obviously you are a finance person, your food cost, etc. will be lower, and then you get more traffic, okay? How do you see this impacting positively or negatively in terms of importation?
What happens is, in terms of importation, there's something basically that needs to be addressed. The reason we import is because the kind of menus that we run, some of these items are not available very locally. Let's say, for instance, if you want salmon.
Yeah, or a sirloin steak.
A sirloin steak, we go for the South African current beef, which is very good. We go for the Norwegian salmon. And what is happening is, if you look at the sausages, the international, the best sausages you actually find are produced by a company in Kenya called Farmer's Choice. They have got the best beef sausages, pork sausages, and the bacon. That I can attest to you because all the countries they have imported, I've heard very good comments about it. It doesn't mean that we import everything. Vegetables, goat meat, it's all done locally. One of the problems we've been having with the local suppliers is consistency. you get a product today.
You're happy?
You're happy.
Tomorrow you place a call.
It's not there. And you cannot keep your customers,
right,
your guests happy.
Right.
And what happens is, when you come here, you find what I'm selling within my a la carte menu. The prices are very high because the cost of bringing these goods is also very high. So that's a question of doing it one way and also trying to balance it on the other way. So it's very virtual and fundamental. Those two factors are considered hand in hand. Where you can get locally, we go local. We can get internationally because of the standards and the demand of our international clients, because those are the majority of people stay. What we don't have here in Ghana is what we call domestic tourism, like what we have in East Africa. And it's something which we, as people in Ghana, need to consider. And the hotels need to assist also the Ghanaians also to promote domestic tourism.
Let me cut in here. You mentioned domestic tourism. Now, do we find ourselves in a situation where domestic tourism is not that great because of the cost, or it's an issue of awareness, interest, and the desire to move from one place to the other for a change? What do you think, with your experience here, the problem is? Why are Ghanaians not patronizing hospitality facilities in Ghana? But you may equally find Ghanaians traveling outside Ghana to enjoy the same facilities. So sometimes it's not an issue of finance. What do you think the issue is?
I think what we need to do to understand is that you better buy and trust your own product that you have.
Okay.
I know one of the things is Ghanaians love their local food.
Okay.
That they love. Because even when you host and do a menu for Ghanaian wedding, when you do that, make sure that there's a lot of those local dishes,
food.
Local dishes, not the English kind of.
Yeah, right.
You talked about spending money. We still receive a few of Ghanaians coming over, maybe on the weekends, Christmas, holidays. But when I talk of domestic tourism, it is not enough.
Okay.
The numbers are not there. They only come in on a Sunday. They don't spend on accommodation. They can afford, because if you talk about price of a hotel, 3-star within maybe Europe, you'll be paid £150.
Right.
If you talk of that, the same amount you pay in a 5-star hotel here, we are very accommodative. We negotiate our rates, and we are just extending that hand to Ghanaians to come and discuss it with us, and we will be able to offer them competitive rates, especially where we find that they have good packages, and that is what they should take. It happens in East Africa. And I don't understand why it should not happen here. I know the consumer patterns are different from one country to the other. People have got their own preferences, but it's a market. Somebody will always ask you, would you imagine somebody talking to you and telling you about Labadi Beach Hotel in Ghana? And you are in Ghana, you don't know how you got, you have a hotel called Labadi Beach Hotel, you don't know what it is. It doesn't reflect very light. You'll be finding somebody coming from Europe telling you about Coconut Grove.
Right.
Or tell me about the golden tulip.
For us, a Ghanaian.
What don't you as a Ghanaian ask you? You don't know your own country.
But it doesn't just stop there. Some people haven't eaten chocolate before in Ghana. Even the farmers. Trust me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is something which we get to educate people. And when I look at in the 2014 budget, under the policy of Ministry of Tourism, they highlighted two issues. To promote Ghana as a tourist destination through the rich culture of Ghana by holding cultural fairs. Number one. Number two, the budget stated that providing a legal framework within the tourism industry. Those are the only two factors that were quoted under budget. The question is, how are you going to promote? International fairs. How do you make sure that these people come to Ghana to watch these fairs, to watch the rich culture of Ghana? It's very important. These things are addressed a little bit higher in the Ministry of Tourism or that tourism board.
Good. Viewers, I'm with Mr. Charles Njeru, the Financial Controller of Labadi Beach, and we are having a discussion into the tourism market in Ghana. Some very important issues have come up. For example, farmers. He is saying that he has to do a lot of importation of items. Now, even when there are local production, you realize that the supply is not consistent, it's erratic, which gives us an opportunity. I really don't see it as a problem. Yes, it's a problem for now, but it offers any serious farmer or group of farmers an opportunity to go around all the facilities, hospitality facilities in Ghana, and then come up with a package for these entities. With that, we can really feel the effect of tourism. Mr. Njeru has also made it very clear with regards to domestic tourism that every hotel, almost every hotel, including where we are, Labadi Beach, is flexible and open. They will do deals, they will do offers. We know last 2 or 3 months, we had the Minister of Tourism launching the domestic tourism awareness campaign. Now the issue here is that, yes, we had a one-off event, but what happens after? Who is taking up the mantle of putting together packages to enable even kids in Accra to, say, visit the Elmina Castle or visit the Kakum National Park or visit Coconut Grove or even come to Labadi Beach or any other hospitality facility? It is incumbent on our tour operators to put reasonable packages together to promote our various tourism facilities. Viewers, this is Tourism TV and I'm here with Mr. Charles Njeru. We're going to go for a very, very short break, and when we come, we're going to delve some more into tourism in Africa.
There you are, you're in the country.
Oh, for real?
And it makes very easy for the overseas tour operators when they arrange these tour packages. Number one, the airfares are very low. You fly from London to Nairobi, the route is very competitive. So we have sometimes as much as $500.
Oh.
So we've got tour packages arranged by tour companies internationally with the link of the companies in Kenya. So when the tourist comes in, the tour package is already arranged, accommodation, food, transport. This gentleman just needs to, or the family just needs to board into the aircraft. They are paid everything abroad. They come and get their tourist visa. They go to the national parks to watch the wildlife and the rich culture of the animals. After that, they go and relax in the beaches in Kenya and they walk away. The only thing, they just need to have spending money in their pockets, buy for their beers, or to buy for their minerals, or to buy that. That becomes very, very easy. Let's compare come back to Ghana.
Right.
Visa issues are a problem.
Okay.
I've had people coming here even to do work. Have to send a visa to somebody who is somewhere in Johannesburg, has to go to Pretoria to go and get a visa to come to Ghana. Imagine if you're a tourist, you're somewhere maybe in Glasgow, or maybe there's no embassy, you have to go travel to the Ghanaian High Commissioner's office
in London.
That becomes a bit of a problem. So I think we also need to relax the visa rules here to make sure that everything is good. We've got the international fair, trade fairs that's a set up. The Kenya Tourist Board Authority, which works through the Ministry of Tourism in Kenya, they have dedicated staff who are fully trained from the universities of hospitality within Kenya that man those stations in the fairs. And that is also shot in the global distribution network within all the chains of hotels, with all the leading players in Kenya, the Hilton, the Intercontis, the Peaks have just opened there, Crown Plaza, the Interconti, they're all there. And it's a very competitive market. So you have to. The other issue that needs to be looked at is the human resource capital.
Okay.
Who are these people coming to work in the hotels? In Kenya, for instance, we have what we call Kenya Utalii University. It is a university. Attached to it is a 4-star hotel.
Right.
It trains people for 4 years to become a manager, a hotel manager. Although you don't become a general manager, you have to come. When you come to the industry, you are trained within the system.
You start from somewhere.
From somewhere. It trains from cleaners straight to the top levels. And during that time, these people are attached to the various hotels on internship, so that if you even want labor as a hotelier, you want to employ people. There are some people who have identified doing the training programs. You go for them. But how is this university funded? It was originally set up through the government of Kenya and the government of Switzerland. And they also came up with a policy whereby 2% of the rooms and food and beverage revenue is channeled through catering levy trustees. that manages the fund and funds the university.
Quick one, is this similar to what we have, or we call the 1% tourism levy?
No.
It's
that
different?
Is different. That's a completely different fund.
Right.
That one is a fund called catering levy. The catering levy is charged to the hotels. The hotels pay it over to catering levy trustees. That is a board that takes care of the tourism levy that was established recently in Ghana. It's channeled to the Ghana Tourist Board. I wouldn't know. I haven't seen any action plan on that. I cannot comment at the moment.
Okay.
That's different. What you're saying is that is how you have the human resource capital. And I'll tell you that that university serves the whole of East Africa and Central Africa as well. And today as we speak, I know of people who have graduated in those colleges. They are not even working in Kenya. Some of them are working in Rwanda. We have some working here in Ghana. We have some working in Nigeria. So it is very, very important to build this. And that is why the services are very good. Any satisfied customer, we always say, will be a repeat guest. That is what is happening. The tourism numbers, which we see in East Africa, is completely different from the numbers that you see in West Africa. There's a lot of details that need to be tidied up within the West African region. Whatever happens in East Africa, they're still upping their game because they have got also the other challenges which are coming up. But those are things to reconsider. Okay.
Now, I got a news item of the 10 leading national parks in the world. I know the Kruger National Park was listed as the 4th best throughout the world. And then another news item where we have 220 million Chinese traveling outside China as tourists. But we really don't get that number coming into Africa, much more Ghana. When you talk about those travels into Ghana, then the controversial Galamsey issue. Do you think we have what it takes to attract markets like that? We also have the Russians who are picking up, a lot of travel habits now. Do you think Ghana stands, the potential of positioning itself to attract such markets?
It can be done. The downside of it is, I've seen people who have come to visit me in Ghana.
Right.
I take them to Kakum Park. Kakum Park is one of the 7 natural bridges we have in the world. And people get excited, they get that experience. There are people who even try to, there are tourists who love particular things. I've seen people even who like to like animals or birds, botanical gardens.
Exactly.
And everything. Have you marketed this? This has not been marketed because it has to be sold as a package.
Okay.
If the ministry or hoteliers can talk to those tour companies abroad and give them the necessary information about Ghana, you can get very reduced tour packages.
Okay.
Company like Thompson's, they being 2 flights in Kenya almost every day. Or
For real?
Every day, full of tourists. Because they have worked up tour packages with the tour companies which are already on the ground. One of the things I can tell you in Ghana is you do not have enough local supported tour operators.
Okay.
That is one of the problems. And they are not linked internationally.
Right.
There are some who are linked, others are not linked. How people maybe want to come to Ghana, they say, okay, which tour operator can I come on with? But they need to be built up and maybe given some incentive to make sure that they're able to be linked overseas and then sell Ghana as a destination. Those are the things that need to be done. When you talk of Kruger National Park in South Africa, I've been to Kruger National Park. I've been to the Masai Mara in Kenya.
Good.
And I know more about, I've worked even in the hotels in the national parks. Ghana has a national park. I don't know whether they have got enough animals that people can be taken. How can it not work out in such a way when people are coming to Ghana and you work within the local domestic aircraft owners to come work hand in hand in the hotels, sell the idea of if you want to go to the north to go and see whatever is there in the north, you just book in, the guests can go there. If you want to go to Takoradi, go to Kakum, go to Cape Coast, those tours needs to be arranged and packaged properly. That is what is lacking.
Good. This is, this is quite interesting. Now, I just want to go back to the human resource base. You realize that tourism is very human-centered. There's the great talk that Ghanaians are very hospitable, they are nice, but we know that when it comes to service, okay, we don't get it cutting across all the facilities. There are some very notable facilities. Here we are, Labadi Beach, you know, Coconut Grove, just name it. What do we have to do to transform that natural hospitality that people talk about? Because I think the natural hospitality comes to a limit where, for example, I want a Pepsi and a Coke is brought, I protest, and you know, all the natural niceties change, you know, the demeanor changes. And what do you think we have to do just to get it right?
I think, Ralph, what you need to understand is you can never do it on your own. You've got the arms of the executive. You need, I know Parliament has a committee in charge of tourism. You need people to drive, such that you have got an institution like the Kenya Utalii University in Kenya that can train people locally. Local people, what we have is in-house training. And a few people we send abroad for training. But we cannot send, if you have staff of 200 people, you cannot
you can't send everybody.
And you need to get the government policy to kind of step in and assist. How do we develop a well-fledged hotel catering school? The hotels can be told to fund it. We've got a special levy. If it can manage the way the catering levy trustees have done, they can be able to do that. And that's the only way, because if you're not getting the real skill set, you're not going to deliver that service.
Right.
So that is the first point that needs to be done. The training skill set is obtained. People get hands-on experience during their training within the hotels. And that's the way you can develop a culture of getting excellent service within the hotel industry.
Okay.
I've never looked at what the hotel training college in Ghana does. Maybe you can tell me about it.
Yeah, sure. You know, viewers, I know for a fact that we really need a hotel training school. We have Hotcat, but seriously, it's not very functional. We have Gimpa that also has a school. I know there's a lot of improvement in that area. So, as a whole, I think we mentioned earlier on that you realize when new hotels come, you're just kind of, you know, repositioning the existing staff. You really don't get very new people being recruited, but it's somebody moving from one entity to the other, which really I don't think, it's good in a way, but it doesn't really help with the development. So that's the situation we have currently. But do you think there's the possibility where such a school can be replicated even by, you know, the various hotels coming together or tourism facilities coming together? You know,
absolutely, it can be done.
Okay,
it can be done because we are building schools, we are building universities all the time. Why not?
Okay.
Through the ministry.
Yeah.
I mean, tourist board, with the government, set up that kind of an institution. Ghanaians are very clever people. Yeah? There's a euphoria today of everybody having an MBA. Everybody having, if you don't have a degree,
you can't go.
You can't fit in the society. So why not get that degree in the hospitality industry and pass on that knowledge to the people down there so that they can be able to work and get things done the right way.
Okay.
Otherwise, the upcharging hotels in the market, all what we do is we just poach from each other and bring other people. And then they start with so many people from outside, then they face them down slowly.
Okay.
But I believe we are like in Labadi Beach Hotel. We've got very well trained staff. There are local people in Ghana. They're the majority within the hospitality industry. And we tend to be victims of people poaching from us. In any hotel comes, they come rushing from Labadi Beach Hotel staff. So it's important to do what is important, and I'm sure that can be done in the right manner.
Okay.
It is very important. It is done. The earlier they do it, I would say do it today.
Okay. So viewers, this is serious in that comparing ourselves to what is currently going on in Kenya, the visa processing is not really of a challenge. I think it's more, they make it more easier because one, they are using serious tour operators. They mentioned the Thompsons. For example, I know for a fact in Ghana that we have serious operators like Land Tours, Sunseekers, CTB Travel, Diaspora Travel, Galaxy Tours, so many of them who come into Ghana. We want to use this medium to encourage them that they need to package Ghana very, very well. Consistently, it's been the tradition and the culture. But we have very, very nice beaches, stretching all the way from Aflao to Axim, way down in the western region. We have also discussed what it takes or what the consequences will be positively if government gets itself involved and immersed in the tourism industry. He mentioned, for example, that the various tourist attractions back in Kenya have airfields where, light aircraft can comfortably land people. But in Ghana, you realize that there is quite a bit of challenge when it comes to the movement of people around. And this is a clarion call for all the hospitality players to put pressure, a lot of pressure on government to open up the roads. We don't want to drive 4 hours before we get to Elmina from Accra. Neither do we want to drive 18 hours to get to Tamale. No, we want that travel time shortened, not just for the incoming tourists, but for the local tourists also. Viewers, this is Tourism TV, and I'm here with Mr. Charles Njeru. We're going to go for our final break, and when we come, we'll round up. Get interactive. Please hold on, don't go.
Looking for a venue for your wedding reception, conferences and retreats, outside catering, recreation? Look no further than Coconut Grove Beach Resort Hotel, located in Elmina. Coconut Grove Hotels, memories worth repeating.
Hello viewers, you're welcome to Tourism TV on Business Television Africa. We're in our very last segment of discussions with Mr. Charles Njeru, the financial controller of Labadi Beach. Mr. Njeru, how do you see the hospitality trend coming up? How does the future look like? Does it look very hopeful? Is it just okay? How do you assess the hospitality temperature, if I may put it so?
No, the hospital, you can see basically, the kind of the new hotels coming up in Accra now. We've got the 260 coming up in Kempinski, Moving Peak is already coming, Marriott is also coming up around the corner. So that tells you the market is there. The hotels within the 4 or 5 star hotel category run on occupancy about 70%.
Okay.
With average room rates, others will be on 250, 240, 220, 190, 140. So that tells you exactly that there's a real focus on West Africa and Ghana in particular.
Right.
The current stable political situation in Ghana within West Africa happens to have a very, very stable political environment. And political stability is key and a fundamental, especially when tourism or hospitality is concerned. I had an experience, if you know what happened in Kenya a month ago. Tourists tend to be evacuated because of travel bans, travel advisory issued by various embassies because of the threat of Al-Shabaab or Al-Qaeda. Ghana, being very stable as it is, politically, it is very, very conducive for people to stay. And it tells also all, most people who come and reach the airport and come to the hotel say, we are very amazed. The people here are very calm, they are not rough, they are very happy people. So that is why they are even pleased before they even get into the hotel. Which is a very, very, something very, very, very to go. It's very commendable.
Okay. Viewers, we have been talking to Mr. Charles Njeru, financial controller of Labadi Beach. The world travel market is worth $56 trillion. Out of that, Africa has 156 billion US dollars. And then Ghana has 1.7 billion US dollars, which tells you that Ghana and Africa has a lot of room and opportunity for development. I will want to see more tourists coming into Ghana, more tourists coming into Africa to come and enjoy all the facilities that we have. but we need to sensitize government. Government needs to be aware that tourism is even more productive than oil, gold, all the natural resources that you can talk about, because tourism is about conservation. Tourism doesn't destroy. Tourism improves upon the current situation. So viewers, thank you very much for joining us on Tourism TV today. And Mr. Njero, thank you very much.
Most welcome.
For spending time with us. It's been very insightful, particularly with your rich experience with what is pertaining in Kenya. Whether we like it or not, it's one of the leading tourist destinations, and it's important that we learn as Africans. We come together and learn and teach each other, learn from each other as to what to do right. Thank you very much for your time, and I wish you a very good weekend. This has been your host, Ralph Aite. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
The tourism industry in Ghana is reported to be the 4th highest foreign exchange earner on our GDP list. We will find out what the impact, the identification, development and promotion of tourist sites in the local vicinities where they are located. We also want to talk to the various chiefs and opinion leaders in these communities to assess whether tourism is making a positive or negative impact on the lives of the local people. This is Tourism TV, fact-finding program that seeks to investigate the existing and potential tourist sites. Join me, Ralph Aite, this and every Friday on this wonderful expedition to find out what tourism is all about in Ghana. The tourism industry in Ghana is reported to be the 4th highest foreign exchange earner on our GDP list. We will find out what the impact, the identification, development and promotion of tourist sites in the local vicinities where they are located. We also want to talk to the various chiefs and opinion leaders in these communities to assess whether tourism is making a positive or negative impact on the lives of the local people. This is Tourism TV, fact-finding program that seeks to investigate the existing and potential tourist sites. Join me, Ralph Aite, this and every Friday on this wonderful expedition to find out what tourism is all about in Ghana. Good afternoon, viewers. You're welcome once again live on Business Television Africa, and specifically you are on Tourism TV. I believe that you are enjoying our series.
Governments will have to implement adequate policies which contribute to the expansion of the private sector, job creation, and an increase in the productivity levels. Corruption must be dealt with in Africa. Unemployment, mainly among the youth, is another challenge facing African leaders. These and many more issues that hinders our growth will be discussed on the banner and provide the why, how, and what to accelerate the continent's dream of economic freedom. Watch on the banner every Saturday. It's going to be hot, heated, but focused. Africa's future success will depend on stability, sound policies, and solid institutions. Don't miss this.
The tourism industry in Ghana is reported to be the 4th highest foreign exchange earner on our GDP list. We will find out what the impact, the identification of programs. This is your host, Ralph Aite, and today we are on the sunny side of life, specifically at the Labadi Beach Hotel. I can tell you for a fact that Ghana has a varied level of hotels that we can boast of, simply because we pride ourselves to be one of the leading tourist destinations in Africa. Today, I have a very, very special guest with me. He is one of the management staff of Labadi Beach, and I can tell you he's worked in Ghana in excess of 15 years. And I can comfortably say he's more or less initiated as a Ghanaian now. Please stand by, don't go, because we're going to have a very, very insightful an interesting chat as to how well tourism in Ghana is doing. As I mentioned to you, we are at the Labadi Beach Hotel. Please stay on.
Africa is becoming more populous and richer. It has experienced unprecedented and uninterrupted economic growth for the past 3 decades. But if African countries are to become economically successful, their government...
Money, Mr. Njero has to know. Mr. Njero, from the intro, you're fully loaded.
I wish I could have everything in my life. I'll be very happy.
Well, we're getting there nearer and nearer and nearer. So I understand you've been here for many, many, many years. Interestingly, can you give us a gist of how long you've been here and what you've been doing?
Basically, I came into Ghana from Kenya.
Okay.
On March 25th, 1998.
Oh.
I was working with Lono Africa Hotels.
Okay.
Because we were managing hotels in Kenya, Zimbabwe, and Ghana.
Yeah.
Because at that time, Lono used to own 55% of the shareholding of the party. So after a short assignment I undertook in Zimbabwe, Lono Africa transferred me to Labadi, which was a very good thing to come and see a different part of what happens in West Africa. Because I've been involved in the hotel industry for a period since 1987.
Whoa.
Various within the 5-star hotels. Leading hotels of
development and promotion of tourist sites in the local vicinities where they are located. We also want to talk to the various chiefs and opinion leaders in these communities to assess whether tourism is making a positive or negative impact on the lives of the local people. This is Tourism TV, fact-finding program that seeks to investigate the existing and potential tourist sites. Join me, Ralph Aite, this and every Friday on this wonderful expedition to find out what tourism is all about in Ghana. You're welcome back to Business Television Africa, and specifically you are on Tourism TV. I mentioned to you earlier on that I have a gentleman with me who spent a lot of his working life down here in Ghana in the tourism industry, and specifically at Labadi Beach as the financial controller. And here I am talking about no other person than Mr. Charles Njeru. He is the financial controller of Labadi Beach. Anything to do with